My name's Cassar, I'm 37 and I'm from West Gosford. I think it's a great place and I think the Central Coast is the best place in the world. I'm never leaving the Central Coast. It's pretty much born and bred in this area and yeah, this is a place I love, this is a place I'm going to stay. I feel that I've lived a really good life. I've had my ups and downs throughout my teens. I found myself going in the wrong direction. A lot of my mates were going in the wrong direction. But I call on that nowadays with my youth work. And because I've been there and experienced that when I'm working with a lot of the kids from the behavioural schools or up at the boys' home up at Frank Baxter, I feel like in a way I can really help them out because I've been there in some cases and done that. So I grew up surfing, playing a lot of footy, hanging around Gosford as I ended up being a security guard in Gosford years later for about 3 years for Gosford Council, and which was pretty interesting about 10 years ago. It was pretty colourful and fairly exciting job from time to time. So I think I've had a pretty interesting life, and I think anything hard that I've ever been through in my life has absolutely made me stronger. I find myself much more of a survivor than a victim in life, and I certainly use any of my challenges as best I can to help others. I work as a local youth worker and community worker. I teach bushcraft, how to make fire with sticks, where to get water in a survival situation, and I tie that in with my youth work. I also work as a professional musician locally, and I feel really honoured to play for a lot of different charities, for Coast Shelter, Central Coast Suicide Prevention Network. That's something I'm really passionate about, is a lot of the issues with our youth and suicide in particular. So I think I'm pretty much known as a bit of a community fella. I like to get out and get as involved in this community as I can. I just learnt recently off the ex-mayor of Gosford that the Central Coast has got the second highest rate per capita for giving to charities, and I think that's something that we should be really proud of as a community. I feel it's really important to have a strong sense of community, and I feel like the Central Coast community is moving towards a peak in the arts, culture and entertainment. Not only does it benefit local businesses, local ecotourism, people coming and spending time at the markets, them wanting to go for a bushwalk or go to the walkabout park at Calgary. Quick plug for them, I work up there as a tour guide from time to time. Not only does it benefit me being involved in the community, but it benefits everybody, and I think in the long term it'll really benefit the Central Coast. So having that sense of the community is holistically beneficial for everybody and everything, in my opinion. One of the most defining moments in my life was recently when we just found out that an area that the community's been fighting for decades, to have it protected up at Bambara Road at Carryong. We got 48 acres, which is just under a third of the land, purchased by council in partnership with the state government to soon be included in the local national park. It's something I've absolutely devoted the last 5 years of my life to. There's around 35 threatened species in this area. For something to be considered threatened, it's believed to be becoming extinct. So the Central Coast community stepped up, protected these sites. We're definitely heading in the right direction. Council, state government and community together, all heading in the same direction to act as custodians of our local area, not just consumers. Australia became multicultural from 1788 onwards. I guess the convicts and the soldiers, some of my ancestors on my mum's side were the first boat people. In saying that, I do fear as Australia becomes more and more multicultural that we're losing a lot of our culture. I'd really like to see more Australian history taught in schools. I'd love to see reenactments going on. Also, we need to focus on the incredible and ancient Indigenous culture that was thriving here before the ships arrived in 1788. We really need to celebrate our incredible Aboriginal culture. I think we really need to step up for the young people, and that's a variety of things. We need to start saying g'day to people as we walk down the street again, and asking the young people how they are. I think the gap has just gotten bigger and bigger between the children and the elders. We really need to bring that respect back between the youth and the elders, and the only way to do that is by putting on good community events and really bringing people together. Drag the Otto bin out on the street, elders in our community, and get the kids up the road playing some street cricket again. Even if you don't like cricket, get to know everyone. When we grew up as little buggers running around the streets of Umina, we still had respect for the elders. We still say, "G'day, Mr. Robertson," as we'd pass him in the street, just for example. That's my biggest want for the Central Coast, is for us to maintain the really wonderful Aussie, humble, sharing, caring, ask your neighbour for for a bag of sugar type attitude. You know, help each other out, work hard. And I'd really like to see that really flourishing on the Central Coast. I want the Central Coast to focus on our strengths, that we are a humble, hard-working people, stick together and make the best of what we got, because we got a lot.